welcome to High Ash Farm. It's a glorious morning here, almost cloudless sky. The sun's well up now. It's coffee break time at the farm, and I've parked the tractor behind me and just hopped out of the cab to look at some of our wonderful late summer wildflowers. And these in front of me are absolutely stunning. They're close to 3 meters tall. They're growing in the bottom of a ditch. It's called Stoke Beck, and it's one of the little tributaries to the River Tass, which is about half a mile away and flows in towards Norwich and joins the River Yare at Trowse. The stream is dry now, and it's been dry for a couple of months. But this flower, the giant Willowherb, or the large Willowherb in front of me here, is absolutely thriving. There's still some moisture left in the ground, although it's down in the ditch. I'm standing on the bank beside it, and so it's 8 or 9 feet tall, and it's in full flower at the moment. It's called Willowherb because later in the season, once we get into September, it produces little pods which are absolutely full of willow-like seeds, which gives it part of its name. It's got another common name as well, which I absolutely love. It's called Codlins and Cream, or Codlin and Cream as well. And there used to be a row of apple trees at the farm, and they were codlins, and my mother used to gather all the windfalls and make apple sauce from them. She'd keep them in kilner jars over the winter months, and in September and October we'd have hollowed out apples on the table, and at that time of the year the skin of the apples would turn almost the same colour pink as this plant in front of me, and she'd pop a dollop of cream in the middle, and that was our pudding. And there's also a serious pest which many gardeners will know, called the codlin moth, and that would lay its eggs on the outside of the apples, and the little maggots would hatch out and burrow in to the centre of the apple and send it rotten. So quite a serious pest. Nevertheless, this giant Willowherb, or Codlins and Cream as it's well known, is absolutely thriving here. And one of the lovely features is, I'm going to go up close and have a little look, is the bright pink flowers have this dollop of cream in the middle, and I'll just pull one of those quite close. I've got a little camera here, so you should be able to see on High Ash Farm Facebook later on. There's a little white cross, and that's the stamens in the middle. It's a great favourite with some of the species of moths late at night which fly over here. And the whole hedge, the ditch here, is absolutely stacked with these plants, and it's bright pink as far as the eye can see. It's one of those lovely late summer flowers. In a little while we're going to visit another one also with willow in its name. But there's a little bonus here as well, which is often overlooked, and I'm just walking up to it. It's before we go off and see another one of the willow family flowers, and this one is called, here we go, a little bit closer. It's large bindweed, or hedge bindweed, and it's a stunning flower. It's one of the largest of our native wildflowers. It's also quite a pest when you have bindweed growing in your corn. It's a real nuisance for farmers, and you can get it in the garden as well, and climb all over your runner beans and beat them to the top. It can almost do a complete revolution. It always grows round its stems, twine round its host plant in an anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere it grows in a clockwise direction. It's very strange, but it can complete a revolution round its host plant in under an hour in the right growing conditions. So it's almost our largest native wildflower, and the ones in front of me are about 2.5 inches across, and they just look like, when I look down the hedge here beside me, it looks as though the hedge is dressed up to go to a wedding. The flowers are often overlooked, and they're absolutely stunning. and got a long trumpet-shaped flower, pure white, and down the bottom there is a nectary, and it's a real favourite with one of our moth species, a convolvulus hawk moth, and they will put their long tongue down in there and drink the nectar, which is shining at the bottom of this plant, as I can see. So easily overlooked, that one. And it's also got another name of bellbine. There's another one grows out on the cornfields of the farm. That's called cornbine. This one's bellbine, and that's well over 2 meters tall already. And there's long trailing stems coming out of the top of this willowherb plant in front of me, and so that will make 3 or 4 meters in length. So it's a real racing plant. I'm just going to walk down a little bit further because there's a beautiful clump of them here, bellbine, and absolutely stunning flowers. Some of the flowers here are getting on for 3 inches diameter, so very, very large indeed, stunningly beautiful, and often overlooked or just pulled out as a weed. But actually it's just a wildflower if it's in your garden, growing in the wrong place sometimes. But that's stunning. So 2 beautiful late summer blooms, absolutely enjoying the dry weather. They've got their feet in water, both of them. The willowherb doesn't really spread itself very successfully by all the millions of little hairy plumes that it produces, because it produces really vigorous roots, long white roots down in the ground, very hard to eradicate if you do have it in a wet area or damp area in your garden, and the roots will come back year after year, so it's almost a perennial, but stunningly, stunningly beautiful. There we are, codlins and cream. What more could you want? I'm quite hungry now. Come on, Rat, let's get back in the tractor. More work to do. Rat's in front of me. He's leading the way back. Already had too long for the coffee break. Dear, oh dear.